Not a day goes by that I don't feel the void.
If you're hearing our voices, that means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch terrible movies so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared.
And if you missed last week's trailer trash, first of all, shame on you, but this is a special edition of It's This Meets That. As we have our friends Thaís and Brady from the Worth Watching Once podcast with us again. And thanks, guys, for joining, and may God bless your souls for being here.
Wow. What an intro. Amen. And thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Big fan. Happy to be here.
It was more of like, are you sure you want to do this?
I'm the one that suggested the movie.
Great point. This is Thaís' fault.
And I reluctantly watched it.
Yeah.
Again. You reluctantly watched it again.
Again, yeah.
I still more power to you.
Yeah, more power to you. So awesome. Thanks, guys, for joining us. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and we're gonna just tear this movie apart quite a bit. But Jared, why don't you kind of recap us? What are we watching? What are we doing?
Yeah, so the movie is The Open House. And a teenager and his mother find themselves besieged by threatening forces when they move into a new house. In case you forgot, that's the premise. Could be several movies, is distinctly this one for the purpose of this discussion. Tell me about what you thought, Russ, in terms of, was it better than what you expected or was it worse?
So going from the trailer, as we discussed, had this like hyperkinetic, like a lot of cuts going on. So it made it feel like it was making up for the fact that there was not much going on in the movie. At least that's how I feel is going to end up happening. And that's, I think that's pretty much what happened.
Yes.
I think it met my expectations, as in like, I could have taken a nap. I could have slept through this one. Or no?
Yeah.
What did you guys think?
Yeah, you said it perfectly. I called it movie melatonin. It's a nappable movie. And look, I have a lot of experience with bad movies. My thing back in the day in high school, I used to go to Walmart, buy dollar DVDs out of the movie bin there. Nice. These are like public domain, trash, bottom of the barrel movies. This is all the ones I watched were better than this movie. This is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Up there with Date Movie, which is like my worst movie of all time. This is up there. It was just bad. I'm ready to hear you guys rip into it, and I'm hoping to join in.
So you guys, you guys on your podcast, Worth Watching Once. So you guys don't watch necessarily terrible movies, right? You that's not like your focus. It's just something that
our focus is more on Netflix original movies. There's so much content on Netflix original content that we like to take a look at. More focused on stuff maybe you've never heard of. Like people have all seen or heard of Roma, Best Picture nominee, but maybe haven't heard of Open House or some of the open houses of the world that, ideally they're worth watching. In this case, they're not. So that's why our podcast is called Worth Watching Once. We let you know if it's worth checking out. And we do find a lot of hidden gems on there. There's a lot of movies on Netflix that you've never heard of that are worth checking out. This is not one of them.
We're like your realtor. We let you know what's coming hot on the market and what you might have missed.
Yeah.
Nice connection to the movie there, by the way.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Really good.
This is a movie that makes you wonder, though. So Netflix spends like what, I don't know, gazillions of dollars a year on content. And you're like, oh, this one snuck on the radar. Yeah. Like this one snuck in there too.
How? Like there was an executive who made a decision to buy this movie. Yes. And you got to wonder what the process was.
But I feel like too, because at the time, right, 2018, Dylan, Minnette, what did we decide on? He was hot.
We've heard it both ways.
Yeah. He, being on 13 Reasons Why, like.
Well, was season 2 out that year? I thought season 1 came out like 4 years ago. Like that came out. I still lived in Southie at the time.
Yeah, that came out a while ago.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is like.
Right. So he was hot. Yeah.
So he was hot. So it's
like, why did he do this?
But that's what it's like. Maybe they didn't need a good. All they needed was him.
Yeah.
And then this movie was going to do well.
He's a Netflix darling now, you know?
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
Jared, what did you think of your expectations from the trailer to what we saw?
They weren't met. I thought I was like, I was optimistic, cautiously optimistic that this would be a watchable movie, and I was wrong. Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Never want to watch it again. I can't believe you watched it 3 times now, Thaís. Truly baffling.
Yeah, the trailer did make it look watchable.
Gets better every time I watch it.
How? In what way? Give me one specific way. I'll make you only do one.
Yeah,
How
one.
is it better the third time?
Well, the third time I was watching it with someone else in the room.
Okay.
So I was like very excited to see your reaction to some of my favorite scenes.
Sure.
And the first time you forgot you watched it.
When you didn't react.
Yeah. And then when I didn't react to any scene because nothing happened.
A lot happened. Jared's being very mean. But yes, the first time I watched the movie, I completely forgot. I mean, this movie is forgettable. It really is.
The forgettablest.
But if you watch it 3 times, it becomes
part of you.
Yeah. Sorry.
It becomes something that burns into your soul and just can't leave because you're like, man, I've now spent over 4 hours of my life into it. But of course, I say that and we're about to talk about it for the next 2 hours. So
it's like death. It never quite leaves you.
Right. It moves in, never leaves.
This movie moves in.
It never leaves.
Yeah. For the record, and I know we're probably talking about it more in a second. We can skip over him probably because we've already talked about Dylan Minnette a ton, too much.
Not enough. Never enough.
At this point, but like totally justified in me saying he's from Goosebumps. Goosebumps came out in 2015. His starring role alongside one of the greatest actors of all time, Jack Black, as we all know. As we all know and love.
I mean,
yeah.
I
love Jack Black.
Yeah.
Right? So what a
Instagram
privilege.
is a lot of fun.
Oh, he's a treat. What a privilege to work alongside Jack Black in Goosebumps and alongside R.L. Stein. A privilege in itself. And then 13 Reasons Why came out in 2017. So, Goosebumps is what turned him into a star.
Or
don't disagree.
Prisoners.
Or Prisoners, right? The other
that
thing.
Came out in 2013.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
It is a great movie.
But we don't talk about good movies here. So
Goosebumps, still pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was fun though.
So some quick info about this one. So it's a writer-director combo here. So we have Matt Angel, I'm going to go with.
No Angel of Mine.
And Sarah Coote, I think we'll go with that. I don't know.
I've heard it, yeah.
Could it
Try.
be?
They're between
let's go with Cootie.
Cootie? Yeah. All right. So between the two of them, a lot of shorts they've made and I don't know, not much else. Actors.
Not shorts like the clothing.
Not shorts like the clothing.
Not shorts like the clothing.
So,
for our American listeners.
Okay.
Are you thinking of like bloomers? Like,
I don't know. Yeah, we've got listeners in France now. Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, we do.
They call them
bonjour.
Short pants over there.
Le petit.
Le petit pantalons.
All right, we're gonna move on from that before we alienate an entire country of people. Actors, it's a pretty small cast, but just the top people. We have Dylan Minnette. He plays Logan, the son there. Piercey Dalton plays Mom.
Yeah,
who I threw out there was a poor lady's Robin Wright, but I got a lot of comments about that.
Yeah.
Patricia Bethune, who plays a creepy old lady, and Sharif Atkins, who plays guy who hits on Mom.
Chris. Who plays Chris.
Poor Chris.
What? We talked about it. We did an accompanying episode. If you haven't listened to it yet, go listen to Worth Watching Once. They're doing an episode where they don't go scene by scene. So, if you haven't watched the movie yet, go listen to that one so that we can get like the gist and then come back and listen to ours and don't watch the movie at all. Just do the podcast stuff. It's worth listening to 5 hours of content for this movie.
Oh,
anyway,
100%. Absolutely.
What did we decide was the dad actor there? The guy who dies in like the first 5 minutes?
What do you mean?
He was in Hannibal.
Yeah.
He was in like Stargate. He was in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Like a lot of TV credits.
So yeah, Aaron Abrams, he's been in a bunch of stuff, but like, yeah, TV credits.
Give me this. A young, poor man's John Turturro. That's who I was thinking of the whole time I was thinking.
Wow. Okay.
Right?
A kind of a young rich man's John Turturro, I think.
I was going to go with
You're totally right.
I was gonna go with a more like poor man's younger brother's. He's not part of the family anymore. John Hamm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
interesting.
I like
Like
that.
like a skinny John Hamm.
Yeah. Right?
Wow. Yeah. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to John Hamm. You're not overweight, just comparatively. This kid's you got a rockin' bod, John Hamm. Yeah, you don't see John Turturro?
No,
That was the whole time. He had the same kind of like little like facial tics.
Wait
I
a
don't know.
second.
John
What do you mean
Turturro.
the whole time? He was in the movie for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, all 2 seconds of him being in the movie. I was like, who is this guy? And it drove me nuts. I just thought of it 2 minutes ago. That's why. Sorry. I got really excited.
Well, I'm glad we cleared that up. So usually we do production box office numbers here, but there aren't any because it's Netflix and we have no idea. They probably lost a couple subscribers because of this. But Jared, what do you think in terms of the Fanatic, what you think this would have made? Or in number of chicken parm sandwiches?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
how many Fanatics is this?
We all know the benchmark is Fanatics. So this is, I think, this has real star power on it. Unlike the Fanatic.
John Travolta? Come on, man.
John Travolta, Devon Sawa
Come on.
versus Dylan Minnette. And what's her face from That Thing and knock off John Turturro? This movie.
It's very hard to explain sarcasm.
This would have been at least 10 Fanatics, I think.
In terms of box office revenue or budget?
Of course. Yeah.
Revenue,
This probably opened in 50 theaters. Each of them sold about 100 tickets. Yeah.
I would say this is one chicken parm, but it's 12 feet long.
Oh.
Whoa.
Okay. Wow. Okay. The Subway edition. All right. Brought to you by Subway. Chicken parm.
Weirdly specific. Yeah.
Yeah, you share it with your friends. It makes you sick at the end.
Yeah, you bring it to a big like Super Bowl party or something like that, and you're like, "Hey, I got this 12-foot long chicken parm. Good luck."
Yeah. But you don't necessarily like regret the experience. You just regret later on.
Yeah.
Or the other way around. You're enjoying eating the sandwich wait, that's the same thing. Maybe the chicken parm was cold.
I'm gonna stop this analogy before it gets any further because
This is why this podcast is like 3 hours.
yeah, this is what ends up happening.
Yeah. Wait, Brady, how many chicken parms do you think?
No chicken parms. John Travolta would have made this a watchable movie, though.
Who would he have played?
Hot take.
Killer. The killer.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, I would. Wait, is John Travolta's character from The Fanatic the killer in this movie?
I think we just made.
Bobby?
I think we just made both those movies better.
Is that a good movie?
Yeah,
Let's go.
I think that's it. I think that's happening.
That's it.
Open fanatic.
So that's a quick info and their chicken parm / the Fanatic comparisons there for budgets and whatnot. Hollywood pitch. This is gonna be fun. I'm actually excited about this because this is a fun part. I enjoy this, but we have 2 new Hollywood pitches to hear. So.
I mean, this is why we do it. This is why we come to this show.
Right? I mean, this is it.
This meets that.
Yeah, like this is it.
Meets that.
I'm looking forward to this.
I'm so pumped for this. So do you guys want us to go first because we're kind of veterans, we're pros, or do you want to like kind of just dive in? How do you want to do this?
Are you saying that ours aren't going to be as good as yours?
That's not what I was saying. I was just saying we're pros. That's all.
If you don't mind, I'll lead off because I don't want Thaís to steal mine.
Oh, wow.
So
I want
sorry.
to make sure that I'm ahead of the curve here.
All right.
That's a real veteran. That's a
a
real
veteran
veteran
play.
Hollywood pitch.
That is
It's like I've been doing this.
Right. I'll let you go first because I'm not scared of the competition.
Oh shit! It's been thrown down. All right.
Gauntlet Thaís.
All right, Brady.
What do we got?
I got
Hollywood
my
pitch.
eyes on you.
What do-
This movie is Panic Room meets The Strangers.
Interesting. Okay.
Wow.
Did I
listeners, you
nail
can't
that
see-
or what?
Thaís is pretty upset.
No, I'm not upset. I'm very
Panic
excited
Room.
because I also made that connection, but then I went left a little more.
So Brady, justify your thinking for us
I
here.
can't wait to see what left is. But
Yeah.
Also, I pointed right.
Panic Room, because you have the mother-child element of trying to survive in an enclosed house or space, and there are intruders.
Buy
Right.
that. Okay. All right.
Allegedly.
Intruders
And-
as in people coming to an open house.
There's a stranger in the house.
Yeah,
They don't necessarily know that right away, like they do in Panic Room, but
Yep.
that element of survival, the mother, the child element is still there, a very strong part of the movie.
Yeah.
The Strangers, because The Strangers is a horror movie and you don't know who the strangers are, but they're attacking this couple in a house. And the elements are there in this movie as well, where you don't know who the intruder is, but they're causing trouble for the people there in the house. And so I felt like Panic Room meets The Strangers really encompassed the whole idea of the movie, both the elements of the stranger in the house and the mother-child aspect.
I love it. I think you nailed it.
Yeah.
The Strangers is like a top scary movie for me. It's terrifying. So well done. This one was not at all scary or terrifying, but
no, in Panic Room, I almost don't want to pick that because it's David Fincher, one of the best directors of all time, and I love that movie and really all of his movies. But
my favorite Kristen Stewart movie. Yeah.
Brady, I know you listen to the podcast, but like we're no strangers to the wishful thinking Hollywood pitch. Like,
yes. Oh yeah, no, I get it. Yeah,
I wish it was that movie. Yeah,
definitely.
It's not though.
It's not even close.
So wait, Thaís, do you want to go next then?
I do.
All right, follow up Brady's.
I love it. Pressure's on us now. The pressure's on the host now because like Jesus, are we gonna get out? Are we gonna get out Hollywood pitching our own show?
I got a hot take. I got a hot one.
Do I have to edit all this out?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think mine's actually for the same reasons as what Brady pointed out, but I'm gonna go with Disturbia meets Hush.
Okay.
So Disturbia for the same, mother-son thing, but somebody also like coming in the house, and like the house is kind of like the aspect because they can't leave the house.
Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say S beef. Yeah.
Right. And he's also a teenager in this movie, and he's trying to protect his mom. It's a whole thing. His mom kind of looks like this mom. It's a whole thing.
Wait, really?
Yep. We talked about that in the trailer trash.
Oh, I don't remember. Nice.
And Hush, because of also somebody breaking into the house and like the eerie, creepy, someone's like toying with the person in the house, moving their shit. Like the person just doesn't realize that somebody's there, and they just think like, oh, did I really leave my book there? Whoa.
That's good. So, all right, Russ, make us sound smart in post.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a lot of editing here. No, I'm just gonna like re-record like random shitty movies and like insert it to what they said.
So sad. Like, this is like Pirates of the Caribbean meets.
I don't know if I can.
Wait,
Speed 2.
A follow up. I was between Disturbia and The Stepfather.
Step Brothers?
No, The Stepfather.
I don't know, Stepfather.
Yeah, the kid from You.
The kid from You? Wait,
Yeah.
the guy there, the main guy? Oh,
Yeah,
he's cool.
So he was like the kid in the movie, and then like the stepfather.
Huh.
Well, yeah, a guy comes in, like remarries the mom, and he's like all jealous, and like that kind of reminds me of how Logan was acting. Like, the dad's out of the picture, the mom's not flirting with Chris is flirting with the mom, but Logan's all like, "Mom, let's go." That was stepfather feels, and then the stepfather goes and kills everybody.
Yeah, so, Logan does do a little cock blocking for mom there, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah. So maybe it's
Papa
this
just
and
died.
this and that. It's the stepfather meets Disturbia that also meets Hush.
Oh, we're no strangers to the three-way.
You can do the three-way. It's this meets
like
that meets
menage Hollywood pitch.
Menage a trois Hollywood pitch.
This is for all of our France listeners. You guys knocked it out of the park. So, Jared, do you want to go and I'll fill up the rear, just kind of like real quickly with my shitty one?
Yeah, we'll make your crappy one the last one. All right. So, so here's my thinking. It's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. First of all,
can't
disclaimer.
Wait to hear this.
I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I do too. Big fan.
Yeah, great movie.
Great movie, but nothing happens. Just like this movie. And then like the last 5 minutes, there's like some action and you're like, oh, weird. Okay. This is kind of fun. I would have appreciated this earlier, but
I agree with that.
That's okay. That's interesting.
I fell asleep.
I mean, come on. I liked the movie a lot. You can't tell me there was stuff that happened.
It was character building. It was world building, man. But okay.
Just like
slow burn.
Movie.
Yeah, slow burn.
Slow burn.
Good example of a slow burn.
Yes.
Exactly. Thank you. And then meets God Knows Where I Am. Now, Anyone here familiar with God Knows Where I Am?
No.
I
Brady?
never even heard of it. I don't think.
Okay, so I believe 2016 documentary. This is getting again to a little bit of a wishful Hollywood pitch here. Documentary about the state of the American mental health care system and homelessness. Talking about how basically this woman starves/freezes herself to death in an abandoned house, and someone discovers her body, and like the whole premise of the movie is like trying to figure out how she ended up this way.
So it's like an episode of SVU.
Kind of. And so I wish that this movie was more like the mom and son froze to death/starved to death in the beginning. And then the rest of the time we were like trying to figure out what happened.
What happened.
Yeah. I wanted the crime early.
You want it to be more of a mystery and less of a thriller.
Yeah. Because it didn't do a good job with the thriller horror.
It was not a good thriller. No.
So
we kind of need to flip the script a bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Go the other way. Go in reverse, you know?
Yeah. And go see that movie.
All right, that's pretty good. These are good. Oh, man. All right, I'm going to flip through
What do you
here.
have?
I'm going real quick here. So I'm going, it's The Shining meets The Big Short.
This is shocking.
Yeah. Explain yourself.
All right. When I do, you're going to be like, Russ, yet again, you are a fucking genius, and you're all welcome to say that out loud. The Shining let's look at all the things we got going on here, right? The Shining, right? A family going to take care of a home in the mountains. Okay. We got snow. We have someone who freezes to death at the end. We have some people who are getting very cold in the movie. We have someone in the house attacking this giant mansion home. Someone trying to chase down a mother and a child and her son. Crushing it.
Nodding my head the whole time that you were nailing that. That was good.
That's supposed to be like, somehow related to Mount Washington Hotel, right? Was it filmed there or something like that?
Yeah. Up in it's a place in Portland, actually in Oregon. I actually went to it, and there's the hotel that they use for all the external shots. They actually have the axe, and I got a photo of it. It just says Johnny was here written on the side of it.
Oh, that's great.
It's
pretty cool. They have it like right behind like the counter. It's just there, and you're like, hey, can I see the axe? I'm like, yep. And they just pull it out. I'm like, yes.
Nice.
So
where I was going with that was God Knows Where I Am also takes place in New Hampshire, in the frozen mountains of New Hampshire. So
nice.
Oh.
So, and then I threw in a big.
Too bad the movie takes place in California.
Yeah, it's West Coast stuff, but
unrelated.
But it was
mountains.
Big Bear Creek, California.
Big Bear Creek.
Yep, it was right near San Bernardino.
And then I went with The Big Short because
California.
It's a housing
crisis.
Yeah, housing problem. We got an open house thing going on. I needed a house thing.
I think if you frame it as just housing crisis,
yeah,
I think that works.
Right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, there's a crisis of housing. Yeah,
family trying to survive in a housing crisis.
Boom, done.
A lot of poor people get fucked.
that was a solid
solid
round of Hollywood pitches, guys. That was awesome.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
You elevated us. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite segment. And every time you guys do it, I'm like, I got mine, and it's better. I love that aspect of the show.
Well, we should encourage all of our listeners to tweet at us what they think the pitch would be for the movie then. So you can hit us up on ITMT Pod and just throw us what your pitch would be for it. So
great idea.
And everyone let me know
Brady.
how much better my Hollywood pitch was from the boys.
Right. True.
Cool. So we have one more segment we do called Fast Facts, which I'm sure you guys are aware of. And this is where Jared and I either make up stuff or we say things about the movie that may or not be true.
Yeah.
So like my fast fact about San Bernardino, that could have
been a fast fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I was a little early.
Hey,
Sorry,
you jumped the gun. It's okay. It happens here.
We forgive you. It's This Meets That forgives you.
So there aren't many here. So Jared, why don't you kick it off then?
These are all kind of garbage, but so the first one here. So like this is on the IMDb, as the dear listeners know at this point. 90% of our fast facts come from the IMDb trivia page,
which is I don't think there's no truth in any of those things.
No, of course not. It's usually like a disgruntled employee posting something about.
Oh, don't say that, Russ. I have to believe it. It's one of my favorite things to do after watching a movie. I check out the trivia section. I choose to believe.
Yeah,
it's real to me. Damn it.
Yeah, it's all money laundering related.
Everything is. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So apparently at one point in this movie, Logan's listening to an album called Dreams in the Rat House. And when I say at one point in this movie, I mean at several points. I think it's the only music they got the rights to for this movie because they play it too many times.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Apparently there's an H.P. Lovecraft story called Dreams in the Witch House, which is not the same. But there's a rat that's integral to the plot. And so Dreams in the Rat House is Brady, this is the IMDb trivia section that you worship.
Not all trivia pages are built the same, just like not all movies are built the same. You know, the trivia for a better movie will be a little more robust. And this is shameful. This is
Dreams in the Rat House, Dreams in the Witch House, rat. Done.
Done.
Oh my God.
What do you got?
So the next one, it's a small one. It's a classic thing Hitchcock would do. So, why not? Both the directors are in the movie. They make an appearance.
Very Hitchcockian.
Yeah, very Hitchcockian of them to do. And Matt Angel is a cop who I was like, when I first saw him, I was like, this guy is like a little too, I don't know. He's not a cop. And then the woman Suzanne Coote, is that what we're going with? Yeah, Coote. She plays a waitress who turns down a credit card from mom.
So the main dude here, Dylan Minnette, is the lead singer / rhythm guitarist / bassist / keyboardist / who gives a shit.
He plays all of the. Ugh, I hate that.
Yeah, the most talented.
Just
actor.
pick one instrument and play it. Come on, man.
In a band called Wallows. Now, here's where it gets crazy, listeners.
Do tell.
Their debut studio album is called
The Open House. The Open House.
Nothing Happens. And lead single from said album is called Are You Bored Yet?
No.
Come on.
They didn't.
Come on. Come on.
Oh my God.
Nailed it.
Is that true?
Wow.
That's true. That's 100% true.
Perfect.
Wow.
Yeah. He knows that he's not in good things.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's some serious self-reflection though. So I cheer him for that. I give him a thumbs up for that. That's some deep looking into what you do in your art. Yeah, I respect that. So
in addition to all the instruments he plays, presumably he's also the lead songwriter. So you're right. He probably made all his creative choices.
I hate that. I hate when people overdo.
Now, Thaís has some fast facts for us.
Overachieving.
Yeah, overachievers. I don't like. Come on, get out of here. Just fucking do one thing.
He's an angel. You guys back off.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got?
What do you got? Freshy facts. Here we go. New segment.
Well, Teen Vogue interviewed him.
Oh, I read half of this.
Movie. And the quote at the beginning of the article says, from Dylan, "I am most comfortable going to horror movies. It gives me a warm feeling."
Ugh.
What?
Yep.
My God.
Says the murderer.
Yeah. Says the guy who did it.
So apparently he was friends with Matt Angel and Suzanne
Cootie.
Cootie
Cute.
for a while.
It's cute.
So it says here, or he says, when they shared the script with me, I was excited to read it. Also, they're good friends, and I would really be honest with them, and I didn't like anything. I was just impressed by what they had written, and I jumped at the opportunity to be on it, and I made sure that they put me in it. We definitely bonded and grew so much as friends on the movie that we're absolutely family now.
You know what? I'm kind of back in on this kid because he's a real good friend. He doesn't mean any of those things.
Yeah, he's ride or die. I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
He goes on to say that he just loves the script and they love that they wrote something that's not just a vessel to throw blood on your screen.
There's barely any blood on the screen.
Yeah. Methinks Dylan protesteth too little.
So when they asked him, did you relate at all to the character for Logan? And he goes, there's so much depth to him.
What?
Yeah, like the shallow end of a pool depth.
Script?
Like, what the fuck? It's like a kiddie pool depth. What are you doing here? Come on, man.
What?
He basically goes on to talk about how learning about the death of his father and how that's affecting him. He says, it affected me. That's always a good sign.
Yeah, I thought my dad died.
He says it made it more gut-wrenching to play this character.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, that's a good freshie fact.
So they asked, what is it like to be on the other side of a horror movie instead of like TV? And he's like, we didn't know if anyone was ever going to see it or where the movie was going to go.
Oh, honey.
Oh, baby girl.
It was just kind of like us making this little horror movie for us, which made it really scary.
No, the scary part's whether the movie gets shown to anyone.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
There was no safety in terms of knowing that it was going to end up anywhere. It was like, we're making this thing on our own, and it's weird up here in the mountains, and there's no money being put into this, and added this extra layer of eeriness to it that I think translates on screen for sure.
What?
Wow, this is a bold interview here, Dylan. Jesus.
So don't hate on him. Hate on the writers.
Way to sell it. Way to throw everyone under the bus there.
Yeah, seriously. Jesus, man. Yikes.
Jeez Louise.
Hey, you know, those things happen, I guess, but.
And I'll leave you guys with this last quote. He says, I'm excited that people will hopefully be watching it now. I remember thinking, this movie would be the most effective in the comfort of someone's home, on their couch, in their living room, in winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Effective is not a word I would use for this movie.
Yeah. Sorry, my brain actually locked up for a second there.
Yeah. I just Control-Alt-deleted quick.
Were you guys buffering?
Yeah, can you reboot me? Can you reboot me here? Because I don't know what just happened.
Put in like the old Dell sound, like when you turn on a computer, it's like boom, boom.
Yeah.
That's probably not copyright.
Well, that's awesome. Those are good. It's good. We're cranking through here. All right, so you guys ready to tear this thing apart to its smallest structure?
I'm starting to come around on this movie again. You know, maybe it's okay.
Wow. Wow.
Let's go.
Wow.
I like to start positive, and then, you know, I'll hate it more as we go on.
Brady, don't look so shocked. I trust you. Trust me. By the time we hit part 2, he'll be like, "I hate this movie. I hate it. I just want it to be over." So it happens every single time.
Yeah, you know what? Right now, I'm feeling pretty good.
I'll put $2 on it that you, by part 2, you're just infuriated. Guarantee it.
Oh, one of those Bill Clinton bills.
Yep, the old $2 bill.
Savvy. Wait, but those are $3 bills.
Oh yeah,
$2 bills are real.
Oh yeah.
$1 bill, y'all. That's for the Limp Bizkit fans out there.
We always got to reference Limp Bizkit in every episode. All right, so let's get this started. So this is a Netflix original. So we got the old Netflix opening, just Netflix logo, which I guess, I don't know.
Supposedly not money laundering.
Supposedly not.
And this is the first Netflix original you guys have done for this podcast, right?
No.
I think.
Wait.
Maybe.
Original.
American Crime.
Oh, yeah.
The very first episode.
First episode, right. Yep.
Yeah. Brady's not only a guest, he's also a longtime listener, so he knows our episodes better than we do.
In the early days. That's
true. He's in a better headspace usually when he's listening. I'm sure he's very familiar with Last Days of American Crime. Yeah, the only other Netflix original we've done, which I would watch 3 more times before I watch this movie again.
Wow, dude. That movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes of pain. I don't know why you keep bringing that up.
Too long.
So opens up. We got Netflix, and then we get immediately a title card, The Open House, right?
Yep.
Name of the movie. And then there's over the title of the movie, though, so there was heavy breathing going on. Just like that. And it was like, man, this sounds like it could be anything.
What did you think it was?
I thought it was some guy jerking off.
Nice.
It's not that kind of movie, Russ.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. I mean, why would you do this? Like, why is this
Russ,
the opening?
I completely agree.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Thank you.
It was actually the realtor waiting at the open house, just like jerking it off in the corner before he opened the doors for them.
Ed, is that why he's so twitchy?
Oh my god. But what it actually is just our not hero, the kid Logan running. He's just running.
It's a hero.
Yeah, there's no heroes in this.
Yeah.
And he's just running. And that's it. And he's running. And then he's running faster. And
yeah. And this is when we get his dad. And this is where I was like, who's the guy playing the dad? He's like a knockoff Phil Dunphy meets John Turturro. Right?
I can see that one. I'm still sticking with my John Hamm.
Yeah, that's fair. Like a svelte John Hamm. John Hamm, you look good just the way you are.
You look great. Fuck you, but you look great.
And and I already kind of hate the dad. I don't know. Does anyone else hate the dad
immediately? Did not like the dad. Immediately was not a fan.
Yeah, there's some about him who's kind of a dick. I don't know why. It was just a vibe that he gave off. There's nothing he did, I don't think, but I was just like, this guy's kind of a tool.
I was like, this guy's in debt.
I mean, I hate the
That is so judgmental.
I hate to judge people by their faces, but I was like, man, this guy, he looks like an asshole. I don't like him.
I hate to do it, but I do it all the time.
Yeah,
I mean, what Russ just said.
Don't you know if you say if you say beforehand that you don't like doing this thing, everyone's like, oh, okay, it's okay, and then everything you say after that, it's like, oh, all right.
It's like saying no offense, but
yeah, right.
Yeah,
not racist, but
that's like, I can't take offense.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to be rude.
To be racist. Yeah, I don't mean to be rude.
So Logan is our kid here. He's running, and Dad's timing him, and they have a little back and forth about how fast he ran.
You're going to the Olympics in Japan.
Can we talk about that?
Sure. I'm curious because he said originally, he's like, oh, guess your time.
5:04.
He's like 5:30 something. He's like 5:07.
Whatever.
Jesus, don't
fast, real fast.
Yeah, 5:07's good.
I mean, Brady's a former track star. You guys don't talk about it enough on your podcast.
We have a track star
right,
on the show right now?
Don't talk about my former track days on our podcast.
Brady,
what
was your best mile?
Triple jumped?
My best mile?
Yeah, what was
he didn't do that.
Probably 550.
Ooh,
really?
Not good.
You're not Olympic.
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
That's not bad. I mean, I was stoked only because I'm slow.
Right. My best mile is like 12 minutes and 7 seconds. So
yeah, running. No, thank you. Yeah,
I'd try to break 12 now these days if I were me.
Right. Yeah, but regardless, none of us, including Lugan. Sorry.
It's gonna be that kind of podcast.
Oh boy. Yeah, we got a long way to go here.
This is the first scene. We haven't even gotten into the house yet. For the love of God.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep this.
Sorry,
moving.
carry on. Thaís, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Just wanted to say this quick. None of us, including Logan, are going to the Olympics because you have to beat a 4-minute, 19-second mile for a male. Female is different.
Yeah.
But so he's not going to the Olympics. He was nowhere close.
Also, this kid eats like Michael Phelps, and he is not Michael Phelps. Like he's constantly snacking and having bowls of cereal at weird times of day. We'll get to it later, but yeah.
Weird bowls of cereal. I would also throw out there, I was like, oh, cool. So he's a runner, and they make a very big point about him running. That doesn't pay off later at all, right? There's no running.
No.
He just walks around aimlessly in a field and gets blind.
That's an excuse for minutes. They were like, oh, guys, this really should have been a short. Oh, wait, that makes perfect sense. Didn't What's-Her-Face directed some shorts and stuff? Like, this makes perfect sense.
Should have been.
This could have been a short. And they were like, hey, let's just fill it up. We'll give 2 minutes to a running scene, I don't know, every 15 minutes?
Yeah. Which they pretty much do, right? All right, so moving on because this will take forever. So we get to mom and dad.
I think it was made for an excuse for him to be out of the house.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It was both.
They're like, we need an excuse for them to get out of the open house.
We need a time fill.
Yeah.
Let's make him runner.
So he's a runner, and not a very good one apparently, but better than Brady.
Yeah.
Challenge there.
Challenge accepted. So they head back in the house, and we get kind of a concept of, all right, the family here. You got mom, dad, and Logan.
Breakfast for dinner. Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That.
So they're having breakfast for dinner. That's nice. And then we get like an extreme close-up of Logan going to the bathroom and putting his contacts in, which was like, I was like, oh man, is he going to poke his eye out right now? Or what's going on here? It was like really intense, super close-up of him.
Foreshadowing.
Gross.
Yeah. And then
I was hoping he was kind of like going to start gouging his own eyes out or something. And just like end the movie early. Be like, oh, I'm making myself blind because some of my daddy would love me more or something.
Like, why am I watching this on Netflix? And then he comes back into mom and dad having kind of a tense conversation, which I don't know if we get a lot of details from what they're talking about, right?
No, money troubles for Brian, it seems like.
Classic.
Brian's the dad.
I assumed that they were losing the house.
Oh, interesting. Well, it was rented, though. The house was for rent.
Or yeah, like they couldn't afford the house. That was the feeling I got based on like the little bit of the argument that we heard.
You know what they say about assuming.
Brady.
Oh boy, here we go. So then,
You assume you are Brady.
and then whatever this happens, and then they end up going to Logan and a dad go to the store, right, to pick up some milk and eggs or whatever it was.
Yeah, which I was really hoping it was going to be like I'm just going to the store for some milk and eggs, kiddo, and never comes back kind of situation, but did not pan out.
He pulls the old dead. Just like, I'm out of here. I'm out of town.
Right. That would support me thinking that he's the murderer later.
Yeah. All the debt's in her name anyways, so they just get the fuck out of town.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Nailed it. So dad goes into the store. Logan hangs out in the car. The van. They have a van, right? It's kind of right? It's like a van. It's like a painter's van or something.
Like a murder van, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a murder van. Dad goes in. He's grabbing eggs. He goes to grab the milk. He doesn't grab the milk, right? He forgets the milk. That's the whole thing, right?
Yep. Forgets the milk and then mashed like an avocado.
Yeah. So he comes out. He's walking out. Logan's in the van listening to this band, right?
This one song that we always listen to. The one
then,
song they got the rights to.
And then a car just all of a sudden just speeds up and hits dad into a trash can.
Guacamole.
It's guacamole. It was a pretty bad. Like accident thing that I don't know. It was.
We were waiting for you to chime in, Thaís and Brady.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep moving then.
You guys don't want to say anything about how this guy turned into guacamole?
Nothing about how this guy got hit by a car.
Yeah, nothing about this guy getting hit by a car.
But yeah, well, I just want to go back to when the parents were arguing. She dropped all the eggs. And that's why he had to go to the convenience store to buy more eggs.
I didn't see that.
So, and like I said, terrible cook.
Out, she says, "Hey, and grab milk." So, like, that adds to the guilt for the mom throughout the movie as well. Because she feels like, had she not dropped the eggs, he wouldn't have had to go out and grab the eggs.
Mm. Yeah.
And the guilt for the son, had he, gone in with his dad, gotten the milk with his dad, they wouldn't have been outside at the exact moment.
Maybe this movie's
car was coming in
better than we thought.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's not.
See it through my eyes.
That's just cause and effect.
No, yeah, no. That's
cause and effect doesn't make a movie good.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it had even less cause, so I don't know.
All right, so Dad's dead. Dad's dead here. Dad's dead.
We're doing accents.
By the way, I went to New Zealand there. Brit's dead. Dad's dead.
Oh, Jesus.
And then we bounce back to the Logan house there.
Yep.
And it's a funeral time.
It's just awful.
Yeah, I guess the driver had a heart attack. It's just awful.
I didn't even hear that. I was just like, how did who? Yeah, okay.
It was like all the quiet moms like chit chatting. Like,
yeah.
Oh, did you
if
hear?
You had the subtitles on, you would have heard it.
Hushed conversation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then Logan's in the bathroom, as one does when they're sad, sitting in the bathroom.
Just crying all alone on the bathroom floor because he's hungry.
Probably. Didn't get the eggs, didn't get the milk. And then we get a shot at, like, we go to the back of the house and mom is talking to apparently her sister. They look nothing alike, but talking to her
wonder
sister.
She's got no money. She's ripping butts. You know the price of smokes these days?
I don't know, like what, $12 a pack or something? What is it up to? I don't even know.
At least. I mean, this is California. They probably have anti-smoking taxes there too. So it's probably
100%.
It's probably like $15 a pack. No wonder they got no money.
Yeah, and I do want to call out, like, I think we talked about this before, but so she's talking to her sister apparently, right? And her sister, I'm going to throw it out there. Her sister is wearing something that is it's just a little
hot.
too much. Yeah, she's smoke show, but it's a funeral.
Revealing.
I forgot all about this. I remember blonde hair. I remember blonde lady. And I remember smoking and thinking like, God, why is she smoking?
They did two wide shots and it was just of her. And it was like she wore this tight, super tight, small black skirt to a funeral. It's like, I don't know. I haven't been at a funeral in a long time, so I don't know. Maybe that's how people dress these days.
But no, yeah, she looked very well put together for a funeral.
Well,
I defer to
she-
Thaís on fashion.
Yeah, she was wearing high heels. Like she was very fashionable.
Yeah.
But it was also to show that she's made of money.
Yes.
Oh.
Definitely was.
Which
So-
brings me to the argument.
Which is
I thought you guys were going to argue it too.
nope.
If she has money, why doesn't she just give her sister money? Because she offers the sister like, hey, we have, a house in the woods. Why don't you go stay there? Get out of town, whatever. And the mom's like, no, I can't take Logan out of high school right now. Like, he would kill me. Meh.
Is he in high
She's
school?
like, no, just go take some time in our cabin. Like, no one's up there.
Thaís, believe it or not, you're off demographic here. We like to think we're an Eat the Rich podcast. In actuality, we've got a bunch of listeners in like Oklahoma, Texas. So it's called personal responsibility. Her sister had no obligation to bail her out.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
I
right.
also think she probably was embarrassed and probably didn't.
She can pull herself up by her bootstraps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the point
we're a
trying
big
to make,
bootstraps podcast.
Big
the
time.
point I'm trying to make is that she offers her sister, she's like, go stay there. And she says, aren't you selling the house? And she goes, yeah, well, you just have to be out of there on Sundays for open houses. I just want to help any way I can.
Yeah.
It was the line of, I just want to help any way I can.
Oh, Lend a hand,
just
not
keep
give
it
a
clean
hand.
between open houses.
Lend a hand.
No handies. No
Yeah.
handies at all.
So
Wanna help.
that kind of sets
find a
everything up
check.
though, right? So the sister offers
Yes.
the mountain lodge, the mountain house up in in Shining territory to say, hey, why don't you get away and go up there with Logan and have weird, awkward moments with your son in the shower. And
Right. Which Wikipedia calls it a chalet.
oh,
Huh.
Fast fact.
That's fact.
yeah,
Little lake.
yeah, we're past that segment.
Also, they're focused so much on how they're going to stay at this place while she's trying to sell it. Like that sounds like a really frustrating experience and not at all helpful. Like
Yes,
this poor woman is grieving and like trying to figure out her like
sounds so
why wouldn't
stressful.
you offer? Yeah, like oh, go stay at this place that you have to clear out of entirely every week for a few weeks. That'll help you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like I agree. It makes no sense.
Like she's not a helpful sister.
Not really, but I mean, at the same time, she does offer up her mountain lodge, which is pretty nice. I mean, it's a mansion. It's pretty dope.
Yeah. And this is when I'm thinking that this, John Turturro here is faking his own death and trying to get out of his money troubles. So that way, his son can go to the Olympics. He can provide his family with a better life.
Yeah, no, that's such a better movie too. Like if he faked someone else's heart attack and had them drive into him. Yeah, no, that's good. I like that.
Yeah. Brady and Thaís, I know you're both listening to the podcast, but like if you have ideas for how the movie could be better, we do a lot of that. Russ and I, one of our biggest hopes is that someday like some director will come across our podcast and be like, oh, you know what? Those guys really helped me figure out the fundamentals.
Yeah, those guys know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But
so
they don't, but that helped me to know what I
Right.
should do.
Right.
it'll make us feel like experts, even though we're not.
No.
Right. I mean, there would be no movie if the sister had just helped her out like a real fucking sister.
Right. There wouldn't have been a movie if, dad knew how to dive out of the way of a car coming at him, Like
Tell me about it.
Had
If I
you
had a
just
nickel,
got the milk.
yeah, you just jump. That's it. Don't go like this. Just jump.
ever tell you about the time that me and Matt were in Chinatown and a car came like careening down the street uncontrollably and the wheel fell off, the whole wheel, not like the tire, the whole wheel. And so the car is grinding on its axle on the side right in front of us. And the wheel comes off and bounces on like across the street straight towards us and literally goes right over our heads.
No,
It happened
stop it.
once.
Stop that.
Yeah.
You stop
I got
it
Final
right now.
Destination once.
Wait.
I was going to mention Final Destination, but also there's a difference between a
That's
wheel and a tire.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
the wheel's the whole thing.
The wheel
Tire's
came
just
off.
the rubber part. Yeah.
Wow.
The whole wheel of this car came off, came flying. We got Final Destination that night. Till this day, I'm still looking over my shoulder. I don't know where I was going with this, but that would have made for a better movie. That would have made for like he can't dodge. I can dodge a wheel at a
Yeah.
split second notice.
Yeah.
How's this guy not dodging a car?
Yeah,
It's
I'd,
way
I'd
bigger.
offer some suggestions, but this movie's beyond hell. There's too many suggestions. It needs to
Yeah.
be watchable.
And we got plenty more to go through, so let's keep moving then.
Boo.
All right, so dad needs to be better. He fucked up. All right, so in multiple ways. So sister's like, sure, I'll take the place. Mom's like, I'll take the place. Sure. So then we are on road trip, I think, right?
Yeah, like where the fuck are we also? Is this like Alaska? Like I was asking Thaís as we're driving through.
I said Northern California.
Which seems like is probably what they're actually going for, but
yeah, out of San Bernardino. That was one of the fast facts.
San Bernardino is not Northern California, is it?
Northern.
Where's San Bernardino?
Next to Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's Southern California.
It's very south.
Yeah.
All right, listen. They still get snow. I looked it up.
Okay.
I think
Bear Creek.
I think all the like the landscape shots were like stock
BBC.
footage they just got on the internet, and then they were like, oh, we found this mansion we could shoot in the woods, and that was it.
At Big Bear Creek.
Then this is where we get our first glimpse of the murderer, right? The guy in the street's the murderer. Can we all agree on that?
Yes.
Yes. So they're driving road trip, mom and son, and this is where son's complaining about, I want to be home for my graduation. Blah, blah. It's like, I don't know, man, just fucking relax.
I wish my dad was alive.
Yeah, I wish you fucking went in and got the eggs with them, because you would be, you little son of a bitch. So they're driving, snowy mountains, crazy. They're going out to, way in the middle of nowhere. So mom's talking on the phone and she's talking to some lawyer or whatever about the house, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I'm the executor. What do I do? And then the signal breaks up. And I thought this is a sign to be like, okay, cell phones are off limits now. That's what I thought that was supposed to do.
Oh, no.
But then cell phones come back though. And I was like,
I think it was just to add a little bit of the like isolation feel for just that one scene.
yeah. And then what'd she ask him to grab in the bottom of the floor, whatever. So she's like, hey, can you get something on the bottom of the floor? And like he's like in the front seat and he's like fumbling around, and she looks over, and all of a sudden she looks up and there's some dude standing in the middle of the road, and she swerves, and it's a scary moment. And then the dude's gone, and then she has a bloody nose, and I was like, what is going on? Like, is it so bizarre. It was so bizarre. I was like, she didn't hit herself at all. I was like, maybe this is
from
just
the
like
altitude.
Like enough, stop it. But
Which
it's like
Thaís had told me before we figured out it was, Bear City Creek or whatever it was like, she's like, oh, this is like, they filmed this in Pasadena. And I was like, oh yeah, the altitude of Pasadena. You fucking kidding me?
It's way up there. So yeah, I mean, that's a moment. And then he looks back to see where the guy that was there, and he's just gone. So like this guy, this movie
does blame the altitude.
She does blame the altitude.
Yeah, and you do a couple times for things. It's just like, get over it. You'll be fine. But at this point, though, like, are they still trying to play off this movie as being like a supernatural thing? Because it's like, this guy's why is he randomly in the middle of the street? He's just, as we know, he's just a guy. And
right. But I think it was a paranormal thing, like, because he disappeared.
Mothman.
Inexplicably, right? Yeah.
But he's not, though, right?
Yeah,
I think it was just a cheap way to get a scare.
Yeah.
It was a cheap way to get the scare. And then, like, her getting a nosebleed after seeing something weird on the road, like, supernatural.
Yeah.
It was like, guys,
I thought that would make the audience uncomfortable.
Yeah.
In a way.
And it
didn't. And it just, the whole scene didn't make any sense.
No.
Yeah.
I was uncomfortable.
You know those scary movies where, like, somebody just steps out into the street and then you're like, whoa, but then what if they disappeared also? Like, that's, like you said, this was like, what are the directors' names here so I can reference them appropriately?
Matt and Suzanne. Matt and
Suzanne sitting around at Buffalo Wild Wings being like, oh, like, yeah, give me another Buffy special. I'm trying to figure out here. Made no sense. Inappropriate.
This is where also time just didn't make any sense to me at this point. So they were driving, right, during the day. Right. Then all of a sudden they were in the car and it was nighttime. And this is when they saw this guy in the middle of the road, right? And then they end up at the grocery store, right?
Yes.
Right. Looking sad at milk.
And it's nighttime. And mom goes to grab milk. And it's like, oh, yeah, last thing dad was going to grab was milk. But he didn't because he forgot because he's an idiot.
Yep.
And it's like,
also, all the milk said 2%, even though they all had different colored caps.
Did that even catch it?
Goof. Nice goof. I like it.
So then this is when we meet Martha.
Yeah.
And
Which, this is also when this kid's being a klutz, knocking over stuff. Like, spoilers for the rest. Like, Thaís' version of foreshadowing here of, like, this kid's going to be a klutz the rest of the movie now.
No, absolutely not. He bumped into Martha because she, like, freaked him out. It has nothing to do with foreshadowing.
Oh.
Yeah, no, he's
real klutzy the rest of the movie. He drops all kinds of stuff.
No, he doesn't. What does he drop? His balls?
Well,
keep that in.
We'll see.
Yeah, don't edit that out.
So
Bruce Almighty's neighbor.
Yeah. So we're into Martha. Martha's
Martha.
an older lady who we don't know much about yet, but she just comes off as super creepy, super scary looking, right? She's like, "Hey, I know you. You're Logan." And he's like, "That's
Not a day goes by that I don't feel the void."
Yeah. It's just very, very creepy. And then mom comes over and she's like, "Oh, you're mom." And I don't know what mom's name is, but whatever. Naomi, thank you. And so she's like, they're like, "Yeah, this is weird. Why do you know us?" And then she's like, "Oh, your sister sent up photos of you, so I know who you were, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah."
which is also weird. That's not
It is weird.
do,
well,
right?
it is weird, but it makes sense later on when you find out about Martha's situation. So Martha is creepy. And then it's just, I don't know, it's just like stupid shit happens right now, right? Like, I don't know. Does anything else
Quiet out here can get real loud. Goodbye now.
Goodbye.
That was my favorite Martha lines were always, bye-bye, goodbye now.
Yeah. Okay.
She seems nice. I like Martha. I'm pro Martha.
That was great.
And then next scene, we just cut to them pulling up to fucking mansion house, and it's a daytime.
Right. It's like, or like sunset, right? Like.
So did they stay over somewhere?
Nope. I think that's just another goof.
It's another goof.
There's a lot of time.
In this movie is just goofy.
Time goofs are fun. So yeah, I was like, how long were they driving for? I was like, did they stay? It doesn't matter. They pop out. Yep. We're like, wow, it's a big house. Sure is.
Oh, we never been here before. It's fucking huge.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
And then she's like, language.
Yeah. And she's like, yeah, language. Yeah, you're right. I hate the mom. She's not good.
No, I like the mom.
The dad would let him swear.
I'm rooting against her the whole time.
I do hate the mom later on because just the basement thing. Just put on a fucking pair of shoes. Anyway,
Brady,
so
who's your favorite character? Who are you cheering for in this movie?
at this point,
Nobody. There's no likable character. I'm not rooting
Not
for
even
anybody.
Martha?
Thank you. You're right. Not even
No,
Martha?
especially not Martha.
Oh.
I don't like the kid. I don't like the mom. I guess if I'm rooting for anyone, it's the mom, to be honest with you. I guess
Really?
Yeah, she's in a tough spot. She's got money problems. Husband just died. It's stressful. It's incredibly stressful. I root for her until she doesn't wear shoes in the basement, which is a savage move. Absolutely savage.
come on, it's not a finished
Hey,
basement. Fucking put some shoes on.
It's messed up.
I'm assuming you're still rooting for Dylan.
I'm rooting for the house.
You're rooting for the house. Okay.
You're
hoping it's
rooting
sold.
for the house to be sold. Yeah.
All right. Good. Back to Woody Allen. The house is the main character.
So they get to the house, right? And as soon as they walk in, they get a phone call. It's Martha, just checking in.
Yeah, she's like, it's fucking huge, huh?
Yeah, and
What on the phone?
and then
Can you imagine?
and then cell phones do work apparently because the mom gets a phone call on her cell phone. So it's like, all right, that's out the window.
She even
and then-
makes the comment. She's like, "Oh, I didn't think I was gonna have cell reception here. Weird."
Yeah.
She
True.
like walks away and answers her phone.
Yeah, but I guess that pays off later because SIM cards are removed from phones. They're like, oh, we need an extra like 5 minutes of film here. Let's just do this.
The house is like kind of ugly inside, right?
Can I talk about the house?
Yeah, let's talk about the house for a second.
All right, let's do
Because
it.
it's ugly. I hope you're going to say it's ugly.
It is ugly. The
I don't
decor.
know.
I mean, the house is beautiful, but the decor is shitty.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
it's
did
like
you see the
mismatched.
sister?
Yeah, but like that's what I mean. Like the style is like that old, like mismatchy vintage. Like just because you have money doesn't mean you have taste. But you have like the lodge feeling, right? You have like
Nouveau riche, they say in France.
Nouveau
Yes.
riche. Yeah.
they have skis and snowboards and shit like hanging on the walls. And this is when Logan starts walking around the house, and we get a feel for the house. We get to see all the blind spots or potential blind spots, right? Like we can't see into certain rooms.
All the comedy spots for later.
And this is the most important scene in the movie. When he walks into that room, sees the rocking chair.
Ah, the rocking chair.
Oh, the least important scene in the movie. Right.
You love
and
that
he,
rocking
like,
chair.
touches it, and it starts rocking a little bit. And you, as a savvy viewer, are like, shit, that's some foreshadowing. We know that's going to be rocking later on.
Chekhov's chair.
Chekhov's chair
Chekhov's
right there.
chair.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chekhov's rocking chair.
Yeah. Yeah. Dear listener, if you're out there, do you enjoy a good rocking chair? I like a good sit by a fire in a rocking chair and reading a good book.
Who doesn't?
We don't have a fireplace.
Let us know if you also do. I know we don't have a fireplace. It's one of my biggest regrets. So,
I mean, you could just
listeners, if you want
for a little bit.
Fund a place for me with a fireplace, then
right. But then here's the thing.
Send us a check to itsthismeetsthat@gmail.com.
But then here's the problem. Logan decides, I'm going to go check out the basement. And he picks up a goddamn fucking flashlight.
God?
Because
and
the light
doesn't work.
No. Classic, like the lights for the basement don't work. And then he grabs a flashlight.
No lights in the basement.
And it's like cheesy, like the flashlight's not working thing. Like
he turns it on in his face and is like, oh, why is it so bright? And then like points it. So now he's blinded.
He's always got a flashlight on hand also. Throughout the whole movie.
No, they keep the flashlight by the door to the basement because there's no lights in the basement. Because you're fucking rich, but you can't install lights in a goddamn basement.
I guess that's the most realistic part of the movie.
This basement's also very awkwardly we're at the basement. So he comes down to the basement and it's a weird laid out basement. So he goes down the stairs, right? And then it's off to the left, and it's it's like to the left is just like this straight shot of like storage, and then the hot water unit, which happens to be all at the other end of it. And then there's to the right is like a tunnel that goes to nowhere except a pile of wood.
Right. That leads nowhere.
And it's just
it reminds me of a rock castle.
Yes.
Or like a dungeony rock castle feel.
Like a channel.
Yeah. Like it's an old.
Can I address your listeners?
Please address the listeners. They love that.
Yeah.
Dear, is it ITMT?
Whatever you want to address them.
We just call them listeners. It's fine. You can just say, "Hey, people."
Yeah.
What up,
people?
Hey, you guys.
Let any one of us know what your basic situation is like, because
I don't know if we want to open it up to be.
No, actually, you know what? No, I agree with Thaís. Let's solicit from listeners. Tell us what your basement is like.
I don't think I want to.
Do you have a murder basement?
No, because
I want to know. Send us a picture.
No, I don't.
Do you have whips and chains?
Yeah, okay, no. I don't want to know people's basements.
The reason I brought this up is because when I saw this basement, in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, because California, like people don't have basements, so this basement's going to be weird because like they're not known for having basements. It's not going to be like the basements we see in New England, like it's weird California basements.
It's a sick dungeon. It's dope.
So that's why I wanted to know, like, for all the California listeners, can you let us know if your basement is as creepy as this goddamn mansion? Yeah, and then let us know if you're rich.
Does it look like a dungeon? Yeah. So he kind of explores the basement, and we get a sense of this is where a lot of shit's going to happen, probably, in this movie. Then he comes back up the stairs and breaks a step, walks through a step. This does not come back at all later in the movie, right?
It comes back several times and not enough times.
But it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. It's not like, oh man, he broke that step, and it's like, oh, he's going to get away because the guy, or you know what I mean? There's like nothing's going to trap.
It's a red herring.
Yeah.
This movie's filled with them.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but when he breaks the step the first time, it looks like he breaks the step in half, right?
Yeah. He definitely Cobra Kai's it. Yeah, he fucking.
Because when they show it later on, it's like a little hole on the left side of the riser.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't care for it.
Yeah.
And also, like, you're staying for free at this house that's open to be sold, and you go and you break a step.
Yeah, this kid sucks.
Yeah, I don't like him one bit. All right, so we move on here. We got Logan and Mom. Logan's going through his box of goodies, which is, I don't know, why would you bring a box of like family, like pictures of your
lots of pictures of daddy.
Like just leave that stuff at home. Get away from stuff.
No, because they couldn't stay at the house. The house was in for rent.
Right, they got evicted, Russ.
Oh,
I
missed all
because when they drove away from their home, it said for rent. For rent signs up there.
I didn't see that
so they had
at
to
all.
move out.
Oh,
they're very poor.
Oh, that makes sense. I didn't see any of that. Whatever. So this is actually 18 minutes into the movie, and I was ready for this movie to be done.
Oh my God, we're only 18 minutes in the movie.
Into the movie, but we'll get through. We're going to get through this together, all four of us together. Okay. So we did this.
I feel like we can rush through this part. So there's a lot of a lot of pictures of daddy, and then it's mom saying like,
you can keep it in my room if you want.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I want to keep dad's dead stuff.
Yeah, I love dad's dead stuff.
That all sounds
and
so
then
insensitive.
Like, she's like, okay, cool. See you later.
So then they end up
like, okay, nighttime.
Yeah, we go to nighttime, whatever time just does stuff. And we hear hammering noises. Probably someone fixing the step. I think the guy came in and I think
I thought that was somebody knocking at the door.
It was someone knocking at the door, Russ. What's wrong?
Well, the subtitle said someone knocking at the door.
Oh no, it just sounded like someone. You guys are cheating. That's cheating.
You're watching the same.
Yeah, the subtitle said someone knocking at the door.
No, it sounded like a hammering noise. I was like, oh, that's nice. The bad guy is fixing the step that this fucking asshole broke. And he's like, fucking.
No, the step's still broken later. Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna kill you, kid, for fucking breaking the step. So we hear apparently a knock at the door. He comes down, and again, this is like this one of two times we get the car with running lights thing, right?
Why would you answer? Yeah, this is the first time. But like, why would you answer why would you? Someone knocks at your door at 1 a.m. Like, that's like a quick poll here, Brady. Somebody knocks on your door at 1 a.m. What are you doing? You answering the door, or are you going to pretend it's not happening?
I would ignore it,
Right.
but I think it's a little bit different if you have a house.
Is it?
Like, if someone knocks on your door, well, I mean, I wouldn't answer it.
Right.
My God. But I would try to see who was there.
He opens the door at one point.
It's a precarious
I mean,
situation.
I don't know. Someone's knocking at your door and you just answer it though. I think I just go answer the door. Like, someone's here. Someone needs a cup of sugar.
Move.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
who knows?
At 1 a.m.?
They're late bakers.
What?
I don't know, man.
You're not a normal
argue,
person,
but
Russ. Thaís,
I've definitely baked
somebody
at
knocked
1
on our
a.m.
door at 1 a.m.
What if someone was
You're not
in
opening
danger?
it, right?
Absolutely fucking.
You might look
Why not?
outside.
Why not? What if someone's in danger?
Okay.
What if the person
I'd ask
like,
who was
hey,
there.
I am in danger. I'm like, all right, let me just stay there.
Are you that in danger? I'll call 911.
Right.
There are many things that I could do, especially being a female. Like, I am not fucking going near that door. But like in our apartment, like we have a peephole. I could see at that house that they're at. It's like
Peephole.
all glass. He can look out.
Yeah.
And he does look out, and he's kind of like weary of it. But then it's when they start like honking, right? They just lay down on the horn, is when he runs out.
Yeah, this whole scene is really fucking obnoxious. I'm gonna throw it out
But
there.
in my notes, I just wrote like, "Why the fuck are you running out?"
So-
with like 15 exclamations.
Just like every other
this
scene.
This is the beginning of like where now I just start getting actually, and now I'm getting angry at this movie. Like,
This is the part where like, oh,
yeah,
this movie
like,
isn't
this is
going
stupid.
anywhere.
And then it gets even worse where like all of a sudden he goes out there and the horn knocks, the lights are on, the car is on. It's like, isn't that their car? And then and then Martha shows up behind him and it's just like, oh hey. It's like, kid, did you not feel this woman who's like, she's not a fucking Navy SEAL, like she doesn't know how to sneak up, like,
Oh, I don't know, man.
She's got
Martha's
Alzheimer's.
she's kind of a Navy SEAL.
She kind of is. So she
I
comes
stand
in.
Martha. Yeah, I'm a big Martha fan.
She just pops
That's
up
what
out
I
of
mean.
nowhere and she's kind of like, what are you doing here? You're on my property. And it's like, what? Lady, get the fuck out of here, man. What are you doing? And then she runs off like the penguin. It was kind of funny.
I thought this scene was interesting because one, it meant that someone went in the house and grabbed their keys and went back out and turned
Right.
on the car.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
And then two, I just thought it was interesting, like language, because she says, "You're on our property, get off our property." And then Logan responds with, "This is our house." And it's like, no, it's not. You fucking poor little
you
boy.
moved in this morning.
Yeah, like this is your aunt's house
Yeah.
with an open house.
See, this is a perfect example too of like the lack
Yeah.
of logic in this movie, and the director's just going for cheap scares because he turns around and she's just standing there behind him, and so at some point in the last 2 seconds, she like ran over to stand right behind him, and it's like that doesn't
so
make
frustrating.
any sense.
Yeah. And then she just runs away, presumably into the woods.
Like a penguin. She's
Wearing
kind
her
of like,
PJs. Like penguins do.
Yeah,
so that was weird. It was stupid.
And it just goes back into the house.
Yeah. Then we start touching our mom while she's sleeping, which is weird.
Oh yeah, it does that for a bit. I kind of skipped over that. I skipped right to. I was like, what what are we doing here? What's going on here?
The picture that we've seen 5 times before. The last time Logan's happy, they have like a little happy family
He
thing.
goes in and like tuck his mom in.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, it's less creepy when you say it, but for
But-
the rest of us, it's weird.
Yeah.
But
So
the
now
reason
looking.
they did it was to show us the picture because it comes into play later.
Right.
Foreshadowing.
It's
So
not
now, like, I
foreshadowing.
mean, what if he took photos of his mom there? Like, you know, that's not weird. You know, I don't know. It's weird.
Oh, wait. So you're saying he's the one who? Oh.
Are we going back to him masturbating again? in
No,
the beginning
just
of the movie?
really
And
come-
now he's
that's
like
a-
over his mom.
Oh my god! All right, that's
No,
not.
he's
What,
running.
that's not what we do here.
It's not that kind of show.
You
That's
can
not
cut that out.
So the next day we open up. We wake up and Logan is scared out of his brains because a hand's coming toward him, and it's the realtor.
And it scared me.
Yeah.
I was annoyed. I was pissed. I was like, I would have been like, dude.
No, again, yeah, that was just so dumb. Like, how, that doesn't happen in real life.
I like the woman, the realtor there being like, Ed, make his bed.
Yeah.
Ed, you bitch, God damn it, go get to work, Ed. You're so lazy.
She was a total Karen.
Super Karen. I love it.
There was also a lot of moments in this movie where like the music was like built up and swelling in points that like nothing actually happened. Like I think in this moment, like the horror music kicked in and it's like, all right, something dreadful is going to happen. It's like, no, it's just realtors are here. And it's like, there's another one later on where it's like when the mom's going to the fucking get her photos fucking developed. And it's like the music's picking up and she just runs into Chris and it's like, oh, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's out in the backyard.
I don't like it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I think I called it out in the Worth Watching Once episode. But like, everyone was talking about how much we liked the sound, and by everyone I mean probably you, mostly Thaís. We're just talking about how much you like the sound, and I was like, I also like the sound, except they abused it. They used it way too much. Yeah. Every scene had dramatic music, and so it was like nothing happened in this movie, and yet every scene was like.
Yeah, I think that's a novice movie maker thinking, okay, I can build tension by having this dramatic music, and then like nothing happens, but you'll be tense. It's like, no, that's not how you properly build.
Yeah, it's an old cheap. It's like an older way of doing it, right? Where like you build up the music, and then like, oh, everyone's gonna feel like here it comes, right? But then you give them this. Then
That
you give
worked
this
in the
lull of
1930s.
like, okay, no, nothing actually happened, and then when people actually calm, then you hit them, and it's like, oh shit, what was that? And it's like, all right, we've seen that 6 gajillion times. Like, no.
Oh, you going to the Takis?
Yeah,
that's when it worked.
So we got an open house. I don't know who the two open house was. Ed and Joanne, right? Joanne, Joanne.
I believe it's pronounced Joanne.
Heard it both ways.
I've heard it several ways.
Joanne
at this point.
Whatever. Joni and Ed, and they're kind of running the open house, whatever, and people are coming and going, and then we get the boots, right? The scary boots walking.
Spooky boots. Go on, Thaís.
When Naomi and Logan are out for the first time, they go to a cafe, and they're eating, and the waitress is none other than Suzanne Cootie.
Yeah, the other half of the other half of this disaster.
Yeah.
The other half of Angel Coot.
Yep. Big yikes.
Yep. So they're out to diner, probably having breakfast again, because that's all mom knows how to eat is breakfast.
Yeah. Card declined. You hate to see it. I've had my card declined several times at a restaurant, and I'm like, it's the most embarrassing thing.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, I forgot I'm poor.
Yeah. I was just like, every time it happens, I'm just like, that must have been the one I canceled recently because I've got too many,
Yeah, I have so much credit. I just
like
wanted to get rid of some of it.
Just need to get rid of some because there's so much credit, But then Logan steps up and uses his birthday cash to pay for breakfast, dinner, lunch.
Yep. And who gave him the birthday cash? His rich aunt.
His sexy aunt.
Yeah, she's a babe. Let's do it. And then they had this weird conversation about winning the lottery and what they would do with all their money.
What is up with that? Like, what a shitty game to play. Like, you literally couldn't pay for lunch a second ago.
Yeah. Guys,
now you're like,
let's make ourselves feel even worse.
Yeah. Remember that time you had to use your birthday money to pay for our lunch? What happened if you win the lottery? What would you do with your money? And he's like,
I'd pay for breakfast.
Pay off your debts. Yeah, I pay off your debts, Mom, and then
which was to show the character building. Right?
No, but it was no. Come on, stop it! Don't you dare do that! No way! No way! It was like forced. It was like spoon feeding us. Like, hey, just reminder, they're in hard times and they're in debt, and it's like they literally both said, pay off your debt, and like he would take care of his mom and all this. It's like,
reminder, this kid's an idiot.
I know. I laughed really hard in my head and do it out loud. But
507 mile.
He's like, oh, this is my birthday money. Like, it was just like to rub it in even. And the waitress is just like, great, thanks. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, just fucking pay me.
Have you ever had a birthday?
Yeah. She's like, I want this movie over as much as you do.
Yeah. And then she's like, oh yeah, if I won the lottery, I think I'd start taking pictures again. And he's rightly like, you fucking idiot. Why can't you take pictures right now? Yeah. You can do that as a poor person. And she's like, oh, that's what your father always said. Like, what? Yeah, because the two of them are reasonable people and you're an idiot. I'm so angry.
Yeah.
I hate this movie. You're right. I hate this movie so much.
We didn't even get to part 2.
It happened. We're back.
We didn't even get to part 2. That's $2.50. Okay. You heard it. You all heard it. It was recorded. We didn't even get to the fucking part 2.
Infuriating.
Yes.
I can't believe there was a time you said that you kind of like this movie.
Brady
was
about,
it was watchable earlier.
Brady was like an hour and 9 minutes ago when he said it.
Yeah, and you know what, dear listener, we're 26 minutes into the movie right now. I logged it because I was so upset where this movie. This is when I first got furious, and I was like, "Oh, we must be at least halfway done." Thank God. No, 26 minutes in right now. How? Why? Why would you do this?
This is where we're at.
Dylan, Minnette, fuck you. Why would you do this?
Come on the podcast,
yeah, be on the podcast anytime.
So then we finish up diner there, breakfast again, eggs and potatoes, and Logan and Mom are at the clothing store in town, I guess, and this is where we meet.
The only store.
Correction. one would call it a general store. Sure. And we got the guy who works there, owns the place, whatever.
Yeah. Soon to be known as Chris.
Soon to be known as Chris, flirting with Mom.
So we're at the store, and this guy's a fucking weirdo. He's talking about, soon to be known as Chris is talking about how, the mountain. He's flirting. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? He's trying to flirt with, and she's flirting right back with him, of course.
No, she's not.
Oh, you don't think so?
Come on.
You're like victim blaming right now.
What?
She's not a victim.
No victim.
Chris dies before anyone else.
Yes.
She lost her
Jesus.
She's mourning the death of her husband.
He doesn't know that.
Not flirting.
He doesn't
she's
know
like,
that.
Oh, my husband just died.
Wink. Ew. Wink, wink. Got a mansion, 3,000 square foot, creepy basement.
Can we take a break?
We're almost there. We're almost there.
Calls her out on it. Logan's like, ew, Mom, stop flirting with that dude.
Yeah. Actually, I think Logan cockblocks Chris pretty hardcore there, but kind of a dick. Kid move. And then that's it. We just get introduced to Chris there, and that's it. So we know Chris, right?
Then it's like, there's, they walk up to the house, and they say something about there's no key. And I'm like, oh, why isn't there any key? Like the door is just unlocked, and they walk into the house. I don't know. So this is when Super Twitchy Ed, our buddy, the real estate helper here, is like running out of the house. He's like, what's her face is here to pick me up. I got to go out to the car, which there's no car out in the driveway. So unclear where he's going, but he bolts. And then we get the monologue from our hero.
Yeah.
I guess you could call him.
No. The whole crux and theme of the movie, right? He just gives this monologue about kind of really explaining to us why this is.
He explains the movie.
The premise.
He really did. He literally
Yeah, this is the premise that the writers talked about like over a couple of beers, and they're like,
at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Dude, you ever think,
Yeah, it's kind of weird if you have an open house, you get strangers. Be like, yeah, this is definitely what it was.
Logan jumps in with this monologue. He says, Mom, have you ever thought about how like weird open houses are? I mean, you give your keys to someone you hardly know. They just stand in one room and welcome in a bunch of complete strangers. And those people just roam around the house. And the realtor doesn't check the house when it's done, right? They just turn the lights off and go. And she says, okay, well, I'm not going to sleep tonight. And he says, maybe you shouldn't sleep tonight.
Like a murderer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a sicko move by Logan. He's really throwing up a few red flags there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we immediately cut to them hanging out on the couch watching a movie. I was like, what time is it? What time is it right now? What's going on? Sorry, Thaís, what did you say?
Oh, I was gonna say, I like that this was like a very wide angle of them sitting on the couch in the living room. You can see the kitchen, you can see the foyer. Like, you get a lot of the house from this one scene.
Yeah.
So the mom's like, oh, I gotta pee. Because like every woman loves to talk about when they have to pee.
Classic.
So she like gets up and leaves. And then he's like, well, I'm going to go make more popcorn because I constantly eat in this goddamn movie.
He does. He's like Brad Pitt. He eats in every scene, doesn't he?
Damn.
I will give you 13 reasons why this kid is the murderer of this movie. One, he's eating constantly.
That's a BuzzFeed article.
Yeah.
13 reasons why not to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
he like goes into the kitchen to make the popcorn, and you see a door in the hallway like opening, right?
Yeah.
And then the phone, and then he comes back, sits down, eating his popcorn, and then the old timey phone starts ringing again. So the mom like runs in, and she's like, "Are you gonna pick that up?" Like,
Old timey. By the way, I think it's just a phone. But thanks for making me feel old.
it's a rotary. Like,
Yeah, we used to
Is it
have
a
a couple.
rotary?
Yeah, we used to have a
I've
couple of those
used
in
a
my house.
rotary phone.
We used to have a couple of those in my house when I was a kid. Yeah, but okay.
use them.
We had one in my parents' house, yeah.
Oh my god, it had a cord.
It was just a phone with a cord. That's all it was.
Yeah, that's how we used to call
It's a
people.
rotary phone. So the mom picks up and she's like, hello. And then she like hangs up and she's like, that was weird. And he's like, who was it? As she's like sitting down on the couch with him. And she's like, I don't know. Like, it's like us echoing.
Yeah, from the door creaking open behind her, being like, let's not look around. The door creaked open slightly earlier than that before she walked by.
Right.
She walked by the open door
Right.
and was like, oh, I'm going to ignore everything here and just say, like, isn't it weird that it sounds like I can hear us on the phone? Crazy.
Yeah.
Instead of looking around the house.
Right.
So, but
And
at
then,
this,
the camera kind of like zooms into the door.
yeah, but at this point in the movie, though, I still felt like it had no idea what the terror was. Like it was still trying to play off like it was like this super, something ghostly or something
Super
like that.
Saiyan.
Yeah, like it was no. The movie wasn't going any direction where you can feel like what this was, which I think most horror movies you kind of get a vibe of like what it is. You know what I mean? Like it's either a killer, someone who's going to come and stab you, or it's ghosts coming in to kill you. This movie just didn't have an idea what it wanted to be. It was just kind of like, well, we're going to have a door open up.
Which takes away from its effectiveness as a scary movie.
Right. Terrible.
Nothing good.
And then
Nothing good to say.
Then
I
we
was gonna
cut
say,
to.
Oh, wait.
Go ahead. What do you got?
Well, I was gonna say, I think it was at this point that I started getting frustrated with the lack of technology in the movie. Because if it was a new phone, it would have caller ID. And then we would be able to see that maybe the person was using
True.
Logan's phone or her phone or his own phone, whatever. Like, it was just like a cheap way of not having that answered. You know what I mean? Like, they were like, oh, let's have an old phone with no caller ID. So then that way, like, there's no way of knowing who's calling.
Yeah, well, and they flip back and forth of like you could have killed the cell phone thing right off the bat, and then this would have made more sense. Like you did it when she was driving up and she lost signal. It's like, cool, cell phones don't work up here. Problem solved. That's done. Now you.
Well, it came back so that the killer could use people's phones and like terrorize them.
It's like made no sense. That felt like such an added later thing. Like, oh fuck, we need to like, I don't know. Oh, is the whole thing with like the phone? Someone calling the phone? Is that Martha just calling and just kind of being Martha?
I don't think so. I think it's the murderer.
Do we think? Okay,
I think
it is the murderer.
How does the murderer know the house's number?
Yeah, right. He's just an open house guy. He just showed for the open house.
Pages.
Yeah, white pages, bro.
Sorry, white pages.
I guess so.
If you're talking about rotary phones,
Just
let's talk
chilling
about
in the
white
basement
pages.
with the white pages.
Why wouldn't you?
And there's a bunch of logic issues with the movie.
Yeah.
Of course. That's one of the lesser points, I think.
So it's still the same night, and we cut to mom's taking a shower because why not? And Logan's eating cereal, right? Or corn. I think it was just like corn. It looked like shaved off corn in a bowl with milk.
Yeah, he just eats corn and milk.
fuck kids just eating all the time, right? And so he's eating in cereal in bed. I had no idea what time it was. She's taking a shower, and then tension's building as. So this is again so fucking cheap, but it was like she's in the shower and it's like okay, showering and like the music kicks up again. This is one of those moments where the music is like building again. It's like building, and they're doing this slow pan over the door, and he gets the door and it pops open. And it's just Logan being like, "Hey mom, you know where my phone is?" And that's where we get the gratuitous shot of mom's ass, and it's very awkward.
I have many thoughts on the ass scene.
Go on.
Tasteful side boob. But I just wanted to point out that we see Logan go into his bedroom first, plug in his phone.
Yes.
It's an iPhone.
Yep.
He plugs it in, sits down on the bed, starts eating his cereal. And then he like puts down his cereal to go get his phone and he can't find it.
Right.
So he goes like on a manhunt around the house for his phone.
A phone hunt, right.
Yeah.
So when he can't find his phone, he goes into the bathroom to ask his mom for her phone so that he can call his own phone.
Right.
But the scene is it's outrageous.
It's
the camera angle is like, let's just show all of her.
Yeah.
Like that's her angles.
Her angles?
Her ankles.
Oh, she's got angles.
Yeah. Crushing it.
Like we could see everything. And do you think that the actress was like, oh, I'm not sexy enough because I lost my husband. Can we have a naked scene for me?
Definitely.
I'm almost 40.
Hey, whoa. Again, let's ageism here.
It's all downhill from there. We all know.
No ageism. I think this is.
Come on.
I think
She's
so
very
much of
attractive.
this movie has been formulaic in a certain way.
Yeah.
I think they were like, horror movies have nudity. We need to have our lead show a little side boob, show full ass.
A full moon, if you will.
Yeah.
Well,
like
a
it
double
makes
hockey
no
sticks.
sense that the shot is she's just full on naked in the shower. And it's like it makes no sense. It plays no part in the movie. Her son peeks his head in like, have you seen my phone? And it's
so
just
awkward.
ass right there.
Mummy.
Okay, but he's not looking at her. You guys
No,
seem like he's
no.
Well,
like,
he is in
let
the
me
mirror.
stare
He's
at
looking
you.
in the mirror at
I was
her,
just
for
going to
sure.
say there's definitely a mirror right there.
But
It's definitely a mirror immediately across. Yeah. He's like,
it's the
oh,
voyeuristic,
shit.
that tease that like horror movies have to have some sort of nudity.
Yes.
And they're like, all right, Piercey, we're doing ass here. And it's like, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Not again.
Nope.
But I think it was also, to me, when I first saw her taking a shower, I was like, oh shit, a shower scene. Because like there's nothing scarier than being at like your most intimate exposed self and then a serial killer coming in and like stabbing you, or like The Grudge when the shit comes, like the fist comes out of her fucking head, her scalp when she's washing her hair.
I haven't seen it.
Well, Jared.
I agree, but those movies, Grudge, Psycho, they were filmed in ways that were, terrifying within the shower. This is like set back with him, Logan, poking his face in, and it's like, it's not scary at all. It's she's intimate at her most intimate, but it's like,
right. But I'm
scary.
saying it's both. They're killing two birds with one very fat, awkward stone.
Oh,
come on.
Nice.
Okay. Don't call her fat.
What? I'm not calling her
She's in
fat.
great shape.
Well,
What the fuck? Why are you guys taking it there?
You took it there.
Great.
No, I didn't.
Great. All of us 40-year-olds are out of shape, huh? Okay.
Oh my god.
well,
That's not what I'm
no.
saying at
No,
all.
I am saying that.
I see how it is, Thaís.
Oh my god. I'm saying instead of them doing it tastefully, doing the nudity tastefully, doing the shower scene tastefully of like having it being scary and eerie, they were just like, oh, we forgot to like add this. Do it all right now. That's the fat, awkward stone.
Yeah.
That I'm talking about.
I buy that. Also,
Big awkward stone.
Is
There.
ass nudity? Is that? Like,
But tasteful side news.
Yeah.
No, ass is cool, but
Ass is nudity.
because when I saw that when the movie started, it was like nudity. Language was like, sweet nudity.
You're like, oh, okay.
All right, let's see what we got.
Yeah.
And I was like,
You
side
don't see
boob and
nipple, but
just ass. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, but it was full on ass.
I mean, it was.
Like there was no hint there. It was just like,
Yeah, there was. Yeah,
yeah.
you don't need
Like
to
the
piece
shower
anything together.
door
It's
wasn't
just
bug
there.
enough.
Right.
Anyway, so let's move on from that because we could talk about that for days.
Right, so he leaves to call his own phone.
Yeah, he's like, Mama, I just saw a booty in the shower.
He's a British young man now.
What
So now
movie are you watching?
were we watching the same movie here?
I don't know.
Can you hear them or something?
And then what happens? So
He goes downstairs in the living room.
Yeah, then he's like, wait a second, I left my cereal in the bed where I was eating cereal earlier.
And
this
this
weird
is
still.
that's right. So that's right. The bowl of cereal, his corn chowder, there is sitting on the table, and he's like, "Oh man, how did my corn chowder get down here?" And then that's when he hears his mom.
That.
Well, no, but yeah. Well, I think people know when I do
It's
that voice.
implied.
That means it's implied. Like he comes out, like that's what I would think. Like, man, how did my corn chowder get down here?
Corn chowder.
1920s, Ross. And then we hear mom scream, and he runs upstairs, and yes,
No, wait, you're skipping.
I'm not.
You're skipping the thud. You're skipping the thud.
What thud?
Oh my.
So he notices a cereal on the coffee table.
Yeah, it
and
doesn't
then
matter. It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
What?
What's
It's the whole
thud?
point of the movie. That's when they get, finally the dramatic music goes away for a second, because obviously the whole movie so far is
Oh
like,
yes. I'm sorry. You're right. I merged into one line here. I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah.
And then we get the thud. So he puts his ear down to the carpet and he's like,
Yes, you're right.
oh fuck.
That was like creepily long enough.
That was good.
It was like
And then you hear.
I'm looking for voice acting work if you're
Yeah.
if you're hiring. You're right. Yes, that's right. The thud. It still doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything.
No, it does. It does.
It
Because-
doesn't though.
It does, because it means that somebody is in the basement.
Yes,
Because
and someone
when he
turn out the
runs up to
pile
go
light.
see his exactly,
Yeah.
and he
No,
like walks
I
in
got
all
it.
naked.
I mean, I get it.
Well, you're acting as if
you're acting like it doesn't matter, Russ.
Yeah,
Because it doesn't.
it does matter.
The rest of this movie
The
doesn't
only
matter.
plot in the movie.
It's the only plot in the movie. Give it this 2 seconds where it implies that there's a person in the basement.
I'm sorry, I don't want to. Okay. So, all right. So, right. Yeah, the thud. You're right. It is important. So he puts his ear to the ground. Here's a thud. His mom screams. He runs upstairs, bursts through the bathroom door. Pretty
Probably
sure
the old pipes, ma.
probably saw his mom's,
Took us.
yep.
Yeah.
No, saw her bazoombas.
wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Some would say life-affirming jumblies.
That's a good one. What else we got?
Someone
Some, saw her,
Bazingas.
It's not that kind of show.
her melons.
Yabos.
Yabos. Yabos.
Tatas.
Tatas. Tater tots.
You got a lot of work to do in post.
Yeah. It's awkward. So whatever. Sees his mom naked. And then and this is the moment where I think Brady and I are on the same page of where now I don't like mom because
Yeah, we all hate the mom.
at this point she's got the towel on. She's like, oh, the water, it feels like the water heater is like out, or like there's hot, like it went to cold water, right?
Which
Must
if
be the
you think-
tank.
if you think, like, there are 2 outcomes to this, right? So we just show her running downstairs wearing nothing but a towel in bare feet down to the basement. Now, 2 scenarios. If you think it's the pipes, it can wait until you put sweatpants on and some slippers. If you think it's not the pipes and maybe it's someone in the house, it can also wait until you put sweatpants on and some slippers. Like, there's no scenario where you're like, nope, I have to go with a towel and come on. Unless Thaís disagrees.
Well, I would say send your son down there.
Yes.
But the
sure.
reason
Yes.
she's not putting on clothes is because she wasn't finished rinsing.
Dumb.
Because it's happened to me and I'm all soapy and gross. Like, I'm not going to walk around and put clothes on when I'm soapy.
What?
It's all sticky and soapy.
It's also not how a hot water heater works.
Correct.
Like she's like all of a sudden they show the pilot light going out, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, the water's all cold." It's like, no, there's a giant tank. You don't have a tankless water heater. You have a giant tank where there's a bunch of hot water that gets filtered up through your shower. Like, Brady again with the details of this movie not making any sense.
Yep.
None of this makes any sense.
No.
Unless it had been out for a while because we heard him in the basement.
Yeah, because she's a waster of water and she was taking an hour-long shower, which makes her even worse of a human being. So
right, because it had to be a sexy scene.
Yeah, because she ate through. Yeah, she's
shower.
like, I got to show some side boob. That's gonna take 45 minutes, and I got
With the California drought too. My God.
Right?
We are
Fucking
strictly
right.
We're not climate change deniers on this.
Absolutely
podcast.
disgusting.
Yeah, 2050. We're underwater. We're in Boston. We know that. Dear listener, are you in a place that'll be underwater in 2050? Let us know, because we want to adjust our demographics to not be underwater, ideally.
So mom's down in the basement. She's fiddling around with the hot water heater in just a towel. This is great, cool, doing some stuff, lighting some matches, and then she gets it running. I think, right? There's anything else special?
I misread this scene entirely. The first time I watched this scene, I was like, wait a second, somebody's walking around towards the basement. She's lighting matches. I thought she was trying to light the matches in order to see the water heater.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, wait, somebody lit the stove? Why would somebody light the stove? I thought there was someone upstairs lighting the stove at the same time.
And I had
so many questions.
This is the beginning of, I think, and I agree. Brady mentioned this, I think, maybe in another episode about the lighting situation here, because this is where it begins,
terrible.
where it's just fucking pitch black, and it's like,
Yeah.
I have no concept of what am I supposed to be terrified about? And even if you have the match and all of a sudden the lighting comes up where you see something behind you, it's like, it's not going to be.
It's crazy to finish that shot and be like, oh, we can put that in a movie. Like it's pitch black. Like it doesn't make any sense.
What do you see here? I see nothing.
Back to Thaís' earlier point too, of like the stairs are broken still. We all remember the stairs are broken still.
Yep.
What, she's in bare feet. Like, why does she not have like a bunch of splinters and shit in her feet from walking down these broken stairs?
And
like
the steps are clearly not broken when she runs back up the stairs.
Yes.
Oof.
You're right.
right.
You're right. I see. Yes.
It makes no sense.
It's so good. I was like, that's because the guy was hammering. He was fixing the fucking steps.
Okay, no, he
was
didn't
hammered.
fix it because later on the steps are broken again. Anytime Logan goes down the stairs, the steps are
They're
broken,
broken.
but when Mom goes, they're not.
Right. They filmed a bunch of just like shots of them walking up and down the stairs.
And they
they're
just
like,
forgot to.
yeah, we'll fix it in post.
Fix it in post, like this show.
And then like Russ, they never did.
Exactly.
I got a lot of fixing to do here.
But Brady, to your comment on the pitch black, you don't think that it added any like scare to it? Like you didn't. To me, like seeing it pitch black, I was like, oh my god, it's so dark in there, and then all they have is a fucking like match. Like I'm shitting my pants. I'm scared. Like if I was in that situation and it was that pitch black,
Yeah, terrifying.
I would just take cold showers forever.
Yeah, if I was in the pitch black, I'd be terrified. Yeah.
Right. So like, why can't we?
Not a good look in a movie, in a visual entertainment medium.
But then it's not as scary if you can see everything. Because the whole point is like you can't see anything.
Yeah,
so
the beauty is if you're an incredibly talented filmmaker, you find a happy medium where you can scare people with what you show on screen without having to be pitch black.
Okay, have you seen Pitch Black with Vin Diesel?
Yeah, it's actually not pitch black though.
I love Vin Diesel. I've not seen Pitch Black.
Oh, pitch black is actually a pretty great sci-fi movie. It's pretty good.
It's the prequel to Chronicles.
Riddick? Yeah, I haven't seen Riddick yet.
No, those are pitch black is the one. Watch that one. Anyways, so here we are though with this horror movie that's still not going anywhere.
Okay.
Oh
So
wait,
she lights the pilot.
Yep.
And then the door slams shut, so then it's pitch black. And she gets angry, runs up the stairs, and she's like, Logan, why did you close the door on me? Rawr.
Building up that mom-son tension, you know. So at that point, I think we're at a spot of we're going to finish this movie on the next episode, right?
Yeah, we're at exactly the time when we give thanks to our listeners.
Yeah. So
We ask for forgiveness?
yes,
Not no, yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens, but
Bless us, everyone. Yeah. And thank you to Thaís and Brady from Worth Watching Once for being on the show. Worth mentioning at least 3 times.
at least
Putting up with our shenanigans. Yeah.
yes.
We appreciate you.
Yes.
Thanks for having us.
In the meantime, we'll be back in a couple of days with part 2.
Yes, we will.
Don't sleep on that. You can find us on Instagram at It's This Meets That, and we're ITMT Pod on Twitter.
If you feel an old fashioned, you can send us an email at itsthismeetsthat@gmail.com. But as always, you can find all our episodes at itsthismeetsthat.com. Thanks for listening, and definitely join us on Thursday when we wrap up this shit show and find out if mom gets out of a towel.
If you're bored and you can't wait until Thursday for the part 2 of this episode.
How dare you?
Wow, I have to edit all of this out now.
What are you talking about? If you can't wait and you're looking for a filler.
That's better.
Check our podcast out, Worth Watching Once, on Instagram, anywhere you get your podcasts, and also tweet at us at WW1pod.